Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing, well, for the next couple of days I'm going to be doing some LPG gas training as part of my LPG changeover course. What that means is the stuff that I'm qualified to work on natural gas, I'll now be able to work on bottled gas. You know, the colour gas bottles you see outside people's buildings. So I'm at my local BPEC training centre, Stevenson's College in Colville. Going to do some training and theory work today using this BPEC training manual, and then we will be doing the next day the theory and the practical exams, assessments, and hopefully at the end of that I'll be qualified to work on gas. So this video is just going to show you what the course involves, a little bit about the training, a little bit about the theory, and yeah, just my overall experience over the next couple of days. If you live in the city, you're not going to be seeing a lot of LPG gas. In fact, probably the only time you'll see a colour gas bottle is when you go in a petrol station. But in the countryside, remote areas, it's becoming a more popular fuel source. Now, the most interesting thing for me to learn today was similar to gas pipe sizing. When you're gas rating an appliance on natural gas, you do something called a takeoff rate on bottled gas. So you have to work out the demand for gas you've got from your appliances, so say a cooker and a boiler, and then you work out how many of these you need and what size you need to safely run that appliance. And then you have to think about things like changing them over and running out of gas. Because you've not got an endless supply, you've only got what's in here, you would automatically think the biggest one's the best, but it doesn't work like that. Because you've got to think about where you're going to store them, what height limitations you've got. Also, let's say it was a little old lady living in the middle of nowhere, she's not going to be able to lug a 47 kilogram colour gas bottle, which is probably as tall as me and heavier. She's going to be more comfortable moving the smaller ones. So you work out the takeoff you need and the best grouping of pairing of cylinders to meet those requirements. It's really interesting. On the first day we do some theory in the classroom. The lecturer goes through with you. Basically we read through the training manual and look at different things. For example, here we've got areas where cylinders must not be located and distances from certain parts of the property, such as air bricks, proximity to windows, openings to the building. So you have an idea of where you can safely store your LPG gas bottles. And then there's tables like this one, typical storage sizes. So your typical colour gas bottles, propane 13, 19, 47 kilograms, and your butane 7 and 15, and the little 4.5s. Tells you the takeoff rate, kilograms per hour, and the kilowatts that will supply. So then you work out the demand you need in kilowatts, you work out the correct number and size of bottles you're going to need for that installation. It's really interesting stuff. As well as learning about the safe storage and how to use gas bottles, you also learn the science behind the gas, which I found really interesting. So for example, this, it's filled with liquid gas to 85% capacity. That leaves room for expansion. And what happens is when you draw off gas for your appliance, the remaining liquid boils and recharges the space of gas ready for it to use. You also learn stuff like the calorific value. So for example, propane has got a higher calorific value than natural gas. Butane is higher than propane. So to achieve, let's say, use an example, a cooker, 3 kilowatt output on a cooker, you would use less propane and even less butane to get to your 3 kilowatts than you would natural gas. The other thing that's interesting about liquid gas is if you do have an escape, rather than natural gas, which just goes into the atmosphere and is actually lighter than air rises, LPG, propane, is 1.5 times heavier than air. So if you had an escape, it will sink and it will find the lowest point, which is why you can't have these near cellars, next to drains, because the gas will find the lowest point and it will sit there.
And then we decide how we're going to approach this piece of pipework. If we look at this first piece of pipe, what's the maximum energy that's ever going to have to get out of that? 19 kilowatts. So you total the two together. We've got 19 kilowatts net of heat energy having to go down there. So, if we're in the column, 19 kilowatts net, let's see what the resistance is if we try, for example, 22mm pipe. You've got to use your industry experience to start somewhere. 22mm pipe is a good place to start because a lot of installers carry it as standard. If 22 doesn't work, we can always go to 28. If 22 is way too big, we can always come to 15. But we've got to start somewhere. So, what's 1 linear metre of resistance for 22mm pipe? Let's just make sure we're all on the same page. Ron.
So yeah, no,
0.206. So that's per linear metre.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got 4 of those. We've also got, we can see from the diagram, an elbow. So 22mm formed elbow. If you turn over your page, you've got the diagrams at the top of your section. So you've got 15mm elbows, 22mm elbows. What's
0.3.
1.3, a 22mm elbow, is the factor for that fitting. Can you remember we used to have 0.5? 0.3. So now we've not got 4 meters of this value, we've got 4.3 meters of that value. And that's all that's on that pipe. Everybody agree? Because we're just doing that section. So we can calculate that out. Now do the buttons. Remember this, gents. We only ever add the values that make the journey to the appliance. So in this example, the journey to that appliance would be this section plus this section. The journey to this appliance would be this section and this section.
So after a day of theory or half a day of looking through the book, we then go and look at installations, regulators, different types of bottle, different types of hoses, fittings that you can and can't use on LPG, which are different to natural gas.
It's just allowing for time.
If you're thinking about coming and doing an LPG changeover qualification, you can just take the exam, theory and practical, and be qualified to work on LPG gas. But I would highly recommend you take the training as well. The last thing you want is to go out on the job, come to a regulator that you've never seen before, apart from in a test centre, because a lot of the stuff you will see you won't have experienced in the test centre, and this job, as you know, is all about experience. So I would definitely do the training. At least then you'll have a general idea of what you're doing, and then you can go out in the field and gain your experience to become a good LPG engineer. One of the great things about the training is you can ask your assessor, because they will know that you've not worked on this stuff before, so you can pick their brains, ask them, use their experience. Also, today I've been working alongside a chap who's been doing LPG for 30 odd years, so I can ask him questions, watch him working, just to overall pick up other people's experience and add to my knowledge.
Hello, my name's John Bexon. I'm a trainer and assessor here at Stevenson College in the gas department. We offer LPG courses for people who are currently gas engineers. It's called a changeover qualification. It allows you to extend your scope from natural gas qualification to a full LPG qualification. So if you have a look at my gas safe card, you can see that everything that I am qualified to work on for natural gas, by doing this changeover qualification, I'm now qualified to work on those appliances as an LPG version. Quite a straightforward assessment, 2 days. The first day is quite a detailed training day, making sure you're aware of the differences between LPG and natural gas, making sure that you're aware of the different procedures that are involved with the testing and different materials that can be used on the installations. And the second day is a day of assessment, 2 exams, not particularly short exams, quite detailed exams, followed by a short practical assessment involving the different procedures with regard to testing LPG installations and purging and taking operating pressures and knowing the differences between how LPG systems operate and how gas systems operate. So it's quite a straightforward process, and once you've done it, obviously then you can work on any appliances that you currently hold for natural gas. You can work on the equivalent LPG version of those. Thank you.
Hey guys, I've just finished my LPG here at Stevenson College. It's been really relaxed here. Done my LPG twice before at British Gas and it's been pretty intense, whereas we've come in here yesterday, relaxed days training, took us through everything we need to know, all on the core side and the appliances. Dropped in today for our assessments. Been really nice, really friendly bunch of guys. That's it, we're done for 5 years now, so we're going to go off and get our gas safe certificate sorted. I've done a lot of natural gas myself, probably 80% of my work's natural gas, 20%'s LPG now. Going into it more and more now, I've moved areas into a rural location, so this is obviously going to pick up and go really well. So the initial outlay to redo my LPG, you know, it's going to come back in a couple of jobs for me, so it's really nice. So I would recommend it, great college, really friendly, good canteen as well. Thanks guys.
So that's me all done. It's a great training centre, everything you need, all the facilities, really nice friendly lecturers that want to help you learn, help talk you through any questions you've got. So now I'm all done. All my qualifications on the back of my gas safe card will now be updated to show that I'm competent to work on LPG for the next 5 years. So hopefully if you've watched this video and you were thinking about doing your LPG, it's giving you an idea of what to expect from the training, what to expect, theory, practical, assessment wise, and yeah, just giving you a feel for the course in general. So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching and check out my other videos.